I've broken my Bullworker. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not that I'm particularly strong, but as you can see, it's not taut as it should be. I'll do another video on that and tell you what it is. It might even be able to be fixed. But as you may know, those who've watched me before, I've got the steel bow which Bullworker sent me, thank you very much, which I use for inner range instead of the X5. And also, I have this, the red X5, which is much stiffer spring. So it wasn't the end of the world, but I use this for certain things and I use a lesser spring for other things. So it's a bit of a shame not to have that, because the red one's too much for behind the back and all this kind of stuff. Well, I looked on eBay, and you seem to be able to get Bullworkers for £35, £40, depending on condition, obviously. This one, which I'll spare you the actual full unboxing, I got for 45. It looked almost unused. You can't tell. The guy just said good condition. You can often tell with the X5s because of this, you see the paper on there gets worn off and you can't read it, or it's missing. You can just see it's had wear because that's where your hands fit. So it's this one in the picture, the new to me one, seemed almost unused. I don't know. Something else I liked, it came with a case. I don't need the case, but it's kind of, nice. But I noticed something in the pictures. I looked closely and it said made in Japan. This one says made in England. The other one says made in England. I assumed they were either made in America or England, but obviously it seems like it said, from what I could see from the picture, it said made in Japan. So I have my knife. Let's see. Okay, here's what we've got inside. Bubble wrap, which I suppose isn't, for a Bullworker, isn't strictly speaking necessary. He did mention that the case, the zip was gone. So that's the case, and there's the broken zip with the, which might be repairable actually, if you need to. But of more interest for me then is the actual where you can see immediately. That's how it's meant to be. Still has the strip, most of those peel off. Has the clip, most of those break. And indeed, looking at it, I can see the instructions or the exercises are in very good condition, possibly scarcely used, and they seem to be in Japanese. The webbing's very good. Did wonder about the Japanese build, because probably won't be able to see, but it says something like British design, Japanese made. Interesting. Not American though, I thought it would have been USA design. Anyway, back in the day, around about the time, wow, that's stiffer than I remember mine being. Mine must have been, well, I've had it for 40 years, so yeah. Back in the day, Japanese stuff, round about the time this would have been made, I imagine, sometimes made in Japan was considered to be not so good. Just the way things were, made in UK in the 50s and 60s was like, yeah, made in UK. Then from what I remember, I think Hong Kong came next. And made in Hong Kong was considered to be not so good, but they got better, of course. Then I think after Hong Kong, if I remember correctly, we started getting made in Japan. And people said, Japanese stuff isn't, but as you all know by now, Japanese stuff. And of course, of late, we've had made in China, which originally people say, oh, this, Chinese that. But a lot of the stuff now you look at made in China, which most things are, serious quality. Anyway, just from a brief look at this, no problems. So, that's a success. I'll do another video on what the problem is with my 45-year-old original, which is much like this in looks, but obviously this one hasn't been used much.